Welcome to a journey of enlightenment and wisdom, where we explore timeless life lessons from one of history's most profound spiritual teachers, Gautama Buddha. Buddha's teachings transcend cultures and generations, offering guidance on how to navigate the complexities of life. He shared insights that resonate deeply within us, illuminating the path toward inner peace, compassion, and understanding. In a world filled with distractions and uncertainties, the lessons of Buddha remind us of the importance of mindfulness, the power of love and compassion, and the necessity of self-reflection. From the Four Noble Truths to the Noble Eightfold Path, Buddha's wisdom encourages us to seek clarity amidst chaos and to cultivate a life of purpose. Join us as we delve into these life lessons, drawing inspiration from Buddha's teachings to enrich our lives and the lives of those around us. Let us awaken our minds and open our hearts to the profound truths that guide us toward a more meaningful existence. Are you ready to embark on this transformative journey? Let's begin. Today we will learn about Buddha's next life lesson, karma, understanding its essence and implications. Karma is a concept found in several religious and philosophical traditions, particularly in Hinduism, Buddhism, Jainism, and Sikhism. At its core, karma refers to the principle of cause and effect, where an individual's actions, whether good or bad, have consequences that affect their current life and future lives. The idea of karma emphasizes moral responsibility and the interconnectedness of all actions. 1. Definition of karma. The word karma comes from the Sanskrit word karman, which means action or deed. In the context of spiritual and ethical philosophy, karma refers to the actions we take and the moral consequences that arise from those actions. These consequences are not limited to just one lifetime but can carry over into future incarnations. Karma operates on the following principles: cause and effect. Every action, cause, has an equal and opposite reaction, effect. This means that the consequences of one's actions will eventually return to them, whether in this life or in future lives. Moral quality. The nature of the consequences depends on the moral quality of the action. Positive actions lead to positive outcomes, while negative actions lead to negative outcomes. Interdependence. Karma reflects the interconnectedness of all beings and actions. It implies that one's actions affect not only themselves but also the world around them. 2. The three types of karma. Karma is often classified into three categories, each representing different aspects of the karmic process. Sankita karma. This refers to the accumulated karma from all previous lives. It is the total karmic bank account that a person carries with them into their current life. Sankita karma includes both positive and negative actions and their potential consequences. Prarabdha karma. This is the portion of Sankita karma that is currently being experienced in one's present life. It is the karma that has ripened and is responsible for the circumstances and events in the current lifetime. Prarabdha karma cannot be avoided, it must be lived out. Kriyamana karma, or agami karma. These are the actions we are currently performing, which will shape our future karma. Kriyamana karma is the karma we are actively creating in the present moment, influencing both our present and future. 3. Karma in Hinduism. In Hinduism, karma is an essential aspect of the cosmic order, dharma. It is believed that every individual is bound by the law of karma, which governs their journey through samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Here's how karma is understood in Hinduism. Dharma and karma, living in accordance with one's dharma, duty or righteousness, generates positive karma. Dharma varies depending on one's age, caste, gender, and stage of life. Performing one's duties selflessly and without attachment to the outcome leads to spiritual growth and liberation. Moksha. Karma and rebirth. The quality of one's karma determines the circumstances of their rebirth. Good karma leads to a better life in the next incarnation, while bad karma can result in a more difficult existence. Moksha, the ultimate goal in Hinduism, is to achieve moksha or liberation from the cycle of samsara. Moksha is attained when one transcends karma through self-realization and union with the divine, Brahman. 4. Karma in Buddhism. Buddhism also places significant emphasis on karma, but with some variations from the Hindu perspective. In Buddhism, karma is closely tied to the concepts of samsara, the cycle of birth, death, and rebirth, and nirvana, liberation from this cycle. Key aspects of karma in Buddhism include intentionality. In Buddhism, the intention behind an action is crucial in determining its karmic effect. Actions performed with good intentions generate positive karma, while actions with harmful intentions generate negative karma. Karma and rebirth. Like in Hinduism, karma influences the circumstances of one's rebirth. However, Buddhism does not emphasize a permanent soul or self that transmigrates from one life to another. Instead, it teaches that the continuity of life is sustained by the force of karma. The Four Noble Truths. Karma is closely related to the Buddhist teachings on suffering, dukkha, and the path to liberation, nirvana. The Four Noble Truths outline the nature of suffering, its cause, often linked to karmic actions, and the path to end it through ethical living, meditation, and wisdom. 5. Karma in Jainism. In Jainism, karma is a more physical concept, viewed as a substance that attaches to the soul, jiva, as a result of one's actions. This karmic matter binds the soul to the cycle of birth and rebirth. Jain teachings on karma include karmic particles. Karma in Jainism is seen as fine particles of matter that stick to the soul, influencing its future. Good deeds lead to lighter karma, while bad deeds result in heavier karma that weighs the soul down. Liberation. Moksha. The goal in Jainism is to purify the soul by shedding all karmic matter through strict ethical practices, non-violence, ahimsa, and asceticism, eventually achieving liberation. 6. The law of karma in everyday life. The concept of karma extends beyond religious teachings and influences everyday life in several ways. Moral accountability. Karma encourages individuals to take responsibility for their actions. Knowing that their actions have consequences motivates people to act ethically and consider the impact of their deeds on others. Mindfulness and awareness. Understanding karma can lead to greater mindfulness in daily actions. People may become more aware of their thoughts, words, and behaviors, striving to align them with positive intentions. Social harmony. Karma promotes the idea that good deeds contribute to the well-being of society. Acts of kindness, generosity, and compassion create positive karma and foster a more harmonious community. Personal growth. Reflecting on one's karmic actions can lead to personal growth and spiritual development. By recognizing past mistakes and making amends, individuals can improve their karma and move toward a more fulfilling life. 7. Misconceptions about karma. While karma is widely recognized, there are several misconceptions about it. Karma as fate. Some people mistakenly view karma as a form of predestination or fatalism, where everything that happens is seen as meant to be. In reality, karma is about the consequences of actions, not a predetermined fate. Individuals still have free will and can change their karma through conscious actions. Instant karma. The idea that karma works instantly, where people immediately face the consequences of their actions, is a simplification. While some karmic effects may be immediate, others may take time to manifest, even spanning multiple lifetimes. karma and punishment. Karma is often misunderstood as a system of reward and punishment. However, it is more accurately described as a natural law of cause and effect. The consequences of actions are not punishments but the natural outcomes of those actions. 8. Transcending karma. In various spiritual traditions, the ultimate goal is to transcend the cycle of karma and achieve liberation. In Hinduism, transcending karma involves realizing the self's true nature as one with Brahman, the supreme reality. This realization leads to moksha, where the individual is freed from the cycle of birth and rebirth. In Buddhism, liberation from karma is attained through the Noble Eightfold Path, which leads to nirvana. This state is characterized by the cessation of all karmic activity and the end of suffering. In Jainism, shedding all karmic matter through ascetic practices and non-violence allows the soul to attain moksha and escape the cycle of rebirth. Conclusion: karma is a profound and multifaceted concept that emphasizes the moral responsibility of individuals and the interconnectedness of all actions. It teaches that every action, whether good or bad, has consequences that shape not only our current lives but also our future experiences. By understanding and practicing the principles of karma, individuals can cultivate a life of ethical behavior, mindfulness, and spiritual growth. In its essence, karma serves as a guide for living a life that contributes to both personal fulfillment and the well-being of the world around us. A short story on karma, The Weaver's Loom, a story of karma. Introduction. In a bustling village surrounded by lush fields and rolling hills, there lived an old weaver named Raghav. His small, humble home was filled with the rhythmic sounds of his loom as he crafted beautiful fabrics that were admired throughout the region. Raghav's reputation for fine craftsmanship was well known, but what truly set him apart was his deep belief in karma, the idea that every action, good or bad, would come back to him in due time. Raghav's philosophy. Raghav often told stories of karma to the village children, who would sit around him, their eyes wide with wonder. He would explain, life is like this loom. He'd say, his hands guiding the threads through the warp and weft. Every choice we make is a thread we weave into the fabric of our lives. If we choose kindness, honesty, and hard work, our fabric will be strong and beautiful. But if we choose selfishness, deceit, or laziness, our fabric will be weak and full of holes. The villagers admired Raghav not only for his skill but for his wisdom. He never charged more than he needed and was always willing to help those in need, even if it meant staying up late to finish a commission. Raghav believed that his good deeds would be repaid, not necessarily in money or goods, but in the simple joy of a life well lived. The greedy merchant. One day, a wealthy merchant named Rajan visited Raghav's humble workshop. Rajan was known for his greed and cunning, always looking for ways to profit at the expense of others. He ordered an expensive tapestry, promising Raghav a hefty sum of money once it was complete. The tapestry was to be a gift for a foreign dignitary, and it had to be the finest piece Raghav had ever made. Raghav, true to his nature, put his heart and soul into the work. For weeks, he toiled over the loom, carefully selecting the best threads and weaving intricate patterns that told the story of the village and its people. The tapestry was a masterpiece, vibrant and full of life. When Rajan came to collect the tapestry, he marveled at its beauty. However, when it came time to pay, Rajan's greed got the better of him. "This tapestry is not worth the price we agreed upon," he scoffed. "I will only pay you half." Raghav was disappointed but remained calm. He needed the money to buy more materials and keep his workshop running, but he knew better than to argue. Instead, he handed over the tapestry with a quiet dignity. Remember, Rajan, he said softly, our actions are like seeds. What we plant today, we will harvest tomorrow. Rajan laughed and left with the tapestry, pleased with himself for having struck such a bargain. But as he walked away, Raghav couldn't help but feel a deep sense of sadness, not for the loss of money, but for the path Rajan was walking. The weaving of fate. Months passed, and Rajan's business continued to grow, but so did his greed. He cut corners, cheated his customers, and amassed wealth at the expense of others. The tapestry he had commissioned from Raghav was sent to the foreign dignitary, who was indeed impressed and offered Rajan a lucrative trade deal. Rajan believed he was on top of the world, unstoppable and untouchable. Meanwhile, Raghav continued his work with the same dedication and care. Though he had less money, he never compromised on his principles. He helped his neighbors, offered advice to those in need, and treated everyone with kindness, regardless of their status. One day, as Rajan was walking through the marketplace, he noticed that the people who used to greet him with respect now avoided him. He overheard whispers about his dishonesty and how no one trusted him anymore. His business began to suffer as word spread about his unscrupulous practices. Then came the news that the foreign dignitary had discovered Rajan's deceit in other dealings and cancelled all agreements with him. Rajan's wealth dwindled rapidly, and soon he found himself on the brink of ruin. The return of karma. Desperate and humbled, Rajan found himself at Raghav's door. Please, Raghav, he pleaded, I need your help. I've lost everything, and I don't know what to do. Raghav looked at the man before him, no longer the proud merchant, but a man brought low by his own actions. I warned you, Rajan, Raghav said gently. Karma is like a loom. It weaves our deeds into the fabric of our lives. You have woven greed, deceit, and selfishness, and now your tapestry is unraveling. Rajan hung his head in shame. I see that now. I was blinded by my greed. I took advantage of you, and many others, without thinking of the consequences. Raghav could have turned Rajan away, but his heart was too full of compassion. He knew that this was a moment of transformation for the once greedy merchant. There is always a way to mend the fabric of our lives, Raghav said. But it requires patience, honesty, and a willingness to change. He invited Rajan into his workshop and offered him a seat at the loom. You must start again, Rajan. This time, weave with care. Choose your threads wisely, kindness, integrity, and generosity. Only then can you create something truly beautiful. A new beginning. Rajan took Raghav's words to heart. He began to change his ways, treating people with fairness and respect. He worked hard to rebuild his reputation, not through cunning, but through honest labor and good deeds. Slowly, the villagers began to trust him again, and his business started to recover, albeit on a much smaller scale. Rajan learned the true meaning of wealth, not in money or possessions, but in the relationships he built and the respect he earned. He never forgot the lesson Raghav had taught him, and from that day forward, he lived by the principle of karma, knowing that every action would eventually return to him. As for Raghav, he continued his work, his loom always busy, weaving the threads of life with the same dedication and care. He knew that karma was not about punishment or reward, but about the natural flow of cause and effect. And in this understanding, he found peace. Conclusion: the village remembered Raghav as a wise and compassionate weaver, and Rajan as the man who learned the hard way that life is a tapestry woven by our own hands. The story of Raghav and Rajan became a tale passed down through generations, a reminder to all that what we give to the world is what we receive in return. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the timeless wisdom of Buddha. We've explored profound life lessons that offer us a deeper understanding of suffering, the nature of our desires, and the path to true inner peace and liberation. The Four Noble Truths teach us to recognize and accept the reality of suffering, to understand its origins, and to believe in the possibility of its end. By following the Noble Eightfold Path, we can cultivate a life of mindfulness, compassion, and wisdom, leading us to profound inner transformation and lasting happiness. Remember, these teachings are not just ancient philosophies but practical guides for our everyday lives. Whether it's through right understanding, right action, or right mindfulness, each step we take on this path brings us closer to a state of balance and serenity. As we conclude, I want to extend my heartfelt gratitude to each of you for your time, attention, and openness to these teachings. Your willingness to learn and grow is the first step towards a more enlightened and peaceful existence. Thank you for being a part of this journey. If you found value in these lessons, please share them with others who might benefit. Together, we can spread the light of wisdom and compassion in our world. Until next time, may you walk your path with mindfulness and may your life be filled with peace and joy. Namaste.